Good afternoon. In this today's video, I have to continue the last class topic, that is Unit 4 Electromagnetic Induction. So today we will see about the motional EMF from Lorentz force. So last class we discussed about the magnetic flux and also Faraday's first law and second law. So here we will see about the motional EMF from Lorentz force. You know very well about the EMF also. EMF means electromotive force. That is also we consider as a potential difference in a battery. So that is one of the force. It give the potential to move the electrons from one place to another place. That is also considered as potential difference. That is epsilon. And also Lorentz force, that is also we discussed in third lesson. So when the electric field, that is when the electrons responsible for move in a direction means it is also present in a uniform magnetic field, the force is also produced. So that is called Lorentz force. That you know very well about that. So here motional EMF from Lorentz force. That is, in this lesson we are studying about the electrostatic induction. So that is the reverse process of the third lesson. Here the magnetic field is there. So when the current carrying conductor, that is one of the conductor, is placed in between the strong magnetic field, that the charges are responsible for move. So that is also the EMF is produced. Because of this EMF, the Lorentz force is also produced on that. So that we will see about that. So this diagram, let us assume that the current carrying rod, that is AB, and its length L, that can be placed in the uniform magnetic field. That field is considered as B vector. So this rod is perpendicular to the magnetic field. And also let us, the rod can able to move with a constant velocity, that is V, towards the right side. So we have to give the force on that and move the rod from left to right side. So that's why the diagram represents the V vector, that is V in the direction. And also the uniform magnetic field is also present. So what happens means, when the rod moves, the free electrons which is present in the conductor, that is also move with the same velocity. That is, whatever the velocity of the rod, that the same velocity the electrons which is present, that is the free electrons that is responsible for producing the current, so that is also move in the same velocity. Because of, as a result of this, the Lorentz force acts on this free electrons in the direction from downwards, that is B to A. So that can be given by the relation of the Lorentz force here. So this is the concept here. So what happens when the magnetic field is there, uniform magnetic field B vector is there, and the current carrying conductor, that is not a current carrying, the conductor is placed there. This conductor, we have to give the force on that. It can able to move in the direction of a left to right direction with the velocity V. So as a result of this, when the electrons can able to move from downward direction, that is B to A. So that is the concept here. So because of this concept, what really happens means, the force is there. What force? The magnetic Lorentz force is also applied there, and also because of this magnetic Lorentz force, the electric force is also produced because of the EMF produced in the rod. So we have to equate the two forces value, magnetic field force and also the electric field force, and we have to find out the potential difference. What is the amount of EMF here produced here? Let's see the derivation now. So this is the Lorentz force value. So when the free electrons at the end A, so it can able to produce the magnetic field force, that is Lorentz force. FB vector is equal to Q V cross B vector is a general formula. Here the electrons are responsible for move. So that can, we have to represent that instead of Q, we represents minus E because of electron. So minus E V cross B vector. So that is the equation number 1. So because of magnetic field produced in this is the magnetic Lorentz force. And also the free electrons produces the potential difference across the rod. So that establishes the electric field also. So along the direction of B to A, BA. So due to this electric field, it also produces the Coulomb's force. that is it can also starts the Coulomb force acting on the free electrons. So that can be given by Fe is equal to minus E. So you have to see that. So this is the equation of electric field that can be produced. This is considered as a Coulomb's force. So F general force of general value of this force is F is equal to QE. So here the electrons are represent, that's why Fe, E for electric field, that is force in electric field, is equal to minus E. Instead of Q we use minus E vector. So these are all the two forces acting. So here the two forces are the balancing forces. So that is when we are increasing the magnetic field value and also increases the electric field also. Electric field force also. So that's why we have to take in that values are. So where it happens when the accumulations on the free electrons. So that's why we have to equate the two forces value, that is also in a equilibrium stage. So this is the value of the, that is force in magnetic field is always equal to force in electric field. The two values are produces in the same values. So here substitute the value of FB is equal to FE. So we are using the modulus also. So the modulus means we have to remove the minus sign, that is we have to take plus or minus, that is answer, that is also taken as a positive value. So minus, substitute the value here. So first you substitute the force of magnetic value, magnetic field value. So minus E V cross B vector is equal to minus E vector. So here in the magnitude form we have to write it VB sine 90 degree. So that's why perpendicular to each other. So the maximum value sine 90. So because we remove the cross product, then only we introduce this value of sine value. Sine 90 degree only gives the maximum value. So is equal to E. Already the minus, that is the electrons can be cancelled to each other. E, small e. And also finally you will get sine 91. Finally you will get VB is equal to E, or V is equal to E by V. That is also velocity. So here we found the value of electric field VB. Now we have to find out the potential difference. That's why the potential difference between the two end of the rod from A to B, that is V is equal to EL. This is a equation taken from, we are already discussing in first lesson. So V is equal to, potential difference is equal to relation between electric field and potential difference. V is equal to EL, or E is equal to V by L. So that is the equation. So from that equation V is equal to, that is potential difference is equal to electric field into length. So that is called V is equal to EL. So substitute the value of E here. E means E is equal to VB. That's why substitute that value. So V is equal to VBL. Here capital V represents the potential difference. Then small letter v is the velocity value. Velocity of the rod that can be moved with the velocity. Thus the potential difference V is equal to VBL. So here Lorentz force on the free electrons is responsible for maintaining that potential difference. That potential difference is also equal to epsilon. Epsilon is also equal to BLV. So the above equation is here. So instead of V is a potential difference, and also E is also considered as a potential difference. So that is EMF. EMF is also known as the potential difference. So this EMF is called the motional EMF. So because of producing the EMF because of movement of the rod, that's why this is considered as a motional EMF. And also we have to substitute in this the value in the current value. So that is I is equal to V by R, that you know very well about that. Here also I is equal to, that is EMF is also considered as V. So EMF divided by, that is epsilon divided by R is equal to, substitute the value BLV. So this represents the current value that can be flows. Because of induced EMF, the induced current is also produced in the rod. So this is the equation. This is the equation of the motional EMF from Lorentz force. So and also the direction is represents in the rule of involved in the rule of right hand thumb rule. So here the direction of the current is found from the right hand thumb rule. Now we are going to see about the right hand rule here. In this Fleming's right hand rule, the three fingers are represents mutually perpendicular to each other, the forefinger, middle finger and thumb. Here, the thumb represents the direction of the motion of the conductor, and also the forefinger represents the direction of the field, and also the middle finger represents the direction of the current here. So middle finger, direction of the current. So forefinger represents the direction of the magnetic field, and also the thumb represents the direction of the motion of a conductor here. So this is called the right hand, Fleming's right hand rule. So here the direction of the motion of the conductor, that means we are using the force to move the conductor in the direction of the thumb, means when the magnetic field is present exactly perpendicular to the, that is a rod, that is what is the motion of the conductor, when the rod is present exactly to the motion of the conductor, and also the direction of the current is produced also in the perpendicular direction, that is the three values are mutually perpendicular to each other. So this is called Fleming's right hand rule.